Hey, it's Kelly Thorne Gore. My voice is starting to go. Sorry about that. We are finishing our series of time successful women, and so incredibly important because we're learning what are those time management habits that we need to implement into our life to live our best life. Because you see, I believe that God has a plan and a purpose for your life. He has something that only you can do. And I really believe that the enemy is keeping us distracted, keeping us from living our best life. And so this series has been all about helping you take control of your time and learn to live into your priorities. We've been going now all week long and we've covered a variety of things. So we've talked about in the first video how to schedule your priorities. We talked about those non-negotiables, those things that are so incredibly important. Then in video number 2, we talked about eliminating those time wasters. I challenged you to track your time. I got lots of messages from people saying, oh my gosh, I had no idea how much time I wasted. Or you said, wow, this is really hard to track my time and to be aware. But the reality is, if we're not focused on this, if we're not focused on eliminating those time wasters, then as my girlfriend and I were talking about yesterday, we're kind of like squirrels jumping from one thing to the next. And I am just as guilty of that, of just having to really focus. Then we talked about identifying what is the best use of our time. I told you that's my power question. What is the best use of my time in this moment, in this day, in this week, in this month to get me closer to the accomplishment of the goal that I have? And then yesterday I told you it's so important that you schedule time to unplug, to really unplug. So if you missed any of those videos, they're on our iBloom Facebook page. You can also find them on YouTube as well, but go back through them. Print out that workbook that Dawn just posted the link to and really do the work. It's one thing to come here and get inspired and say, oh, this has to change. But the real work happens when you start to really apply it, when you work through that workbook, when you do the homework, when you just really dig in. And I've told you, my favorite go-to source for managing my time well is my iBloom Life and Business Planner. And so I've told you about that in the workbook. I gave you a handout. If you're joining us, let me know where you're joining us from. Hey, Mandy, so glad you're here. And Connor, hey, sweet Connor. I think it's V, bye, I don't know how to say that. Hey, Tina, so glad you're here. I would just love if you have benefited from this series, would you share this video? Because I'm sure there are people in your life who need to see this. Hey, Christy in Wyoming. Tina is in Pennsylvania. Awesome. If you'll share this so that those people in your life can benefit from what you've been learning, that would be fabulous. All right, so this final one, I want to talk about one that a lot of people don't know, or maybe you know it, but you forget it. Are you ready for this one? Okay. The reality is there is no perfect schedule. It just doesn't happen. And I don't know about you guys, but even when I do have what seems like the perfect schedule, I'll give you an example. I just felt like I had the perfect schedule. I think I even told my girlfriend, oh my gosh, I found it. It's working. It's awesome. I'm not even kidding you. The very next day, my little boy has 106 fever and has tonsillitis and is so incredibly sick. And my schedule is kind of thrown out the window. So this final habit is you have to tweak. And you have to keep tweaking until it works. I can't tell you how many people I've worked with over the years who get a schedule down and they come to me a week later and they say, oh, that schedule stuff, it just doesn't work. It doesn't work for me. I'm too busy. My schedule's not consistent. It doesn't work. Let me tell you, no, it doesn't work like that, because you have to continually tweaking it until you find what works. You can't just throw it out and say it doesn't work and choose to be distracted for the rest of your life and not accomplishing what you want to accomplish. Instead, we have to focus. We have to laser focus and decide we are going to find a schedule that works for us. And you're going to have to keep tweaking it until you get to that place. And then even when you get that perfect schedule, life changes. Kids get out for Christmas break or fall break or summer break. A kid gets sick, you get sick. There are all kinds of things that happen that require us to recommit. And so maybe you're in that place right now where you had a schedule that was kind of working and you got to recommit. I had that moment this morning. I had the most awesome morning routine going. And then when my little boy got sick and I didn't get sleep for days and days, literally I was awake for several days with him. And you can tell I'm like kind of fighting some throat stuff just of not getting adequate rest and allergies and that kind of thing. I have let my morning routine kind of go out the window. And I know that sets me up for success. And so just this morning I said, I've got to recommit. Tomorrow morning, I am waking up, yes, on Saturday, and I'm going to do my morning routine. We have to continually recommit and tweak, because I promise you, it matters. Your goals, those dreams that God has put on your heart, they matter. And so in the last page of this workbook is one of my new favorite quotes from my friend Brooke McLaughlin. Leanne Napier did a hand lettering for me and allowed me to share it with you, which, by the way, she does awesome hand lettering stuff. She's part of our iBloom team. If you want her information, just send us a message on the page and I'll get it to you, or you can look her up. I think it might be Leanne Napier hand lettering, but it's awesome. But what would be said about you? Would it be said about you that you knew the dreams and the desires that God has given you and you worked at it with all your heart? That's what I want to be said about me. Not that I'm going to be perfect, not that my schedule's always going to work, but you know what? I want to have this big enough picture, this big vision for my life that I'm going to do whatever it takes to fulfill that mission. And for me, that means taking control of my time. And I think it's the same for you. We all have the same number of hours in the day. You have the same number of hours in your day as Bill Gates or the President of the United States or Oprah Winfrey or whoever. Now, they have large teams who are assisting them, but we got the same number of hours in our day. And I believe that we can make those hours count for something significant. And so if you're struggling in this area, you're not alone. You're not alone. But let me give you a little hope. Why don't you recommit today? Why don't you tweak? Why don't you spend some time with God asking Him to show you how can you adjust your schedule in a way that allows you to live into those non-negotiables? In a way that allows you to eliminate those time wasters and the things that are seeking to distract you so that you can focus and so that you can be fully present and so you can accomplish the dreams and the plans that God has for you. Because my friend, you matter and you still have breath in your lungs. And so what I know is that God still has a plan for your life. I am so, so grateful for you. So grateful that I've gotten to spend this week with you as we've really dug in and looked at those time management habits of successful women. So now it's time to do the work. Print out that workbook, go back through these videos and begin to apply them. And also make sure you get your iBloom planner. So just a reminder, it's available for pre-order, the spiral bound version of the 2019, so spiral bound version. It's only available for pre-order this year. So you can get it from Tuesday, September 4th until Monday, September 10th. That's the only days that'll be available this year. There's also a printable version. It'll be available all the time, but if you want the spiral bound, make sure you get it. And hey, Dawn, I've had a couple people asking for the first week of September, could you put that together and put it on this link for us? So that way, if people want to plan this weekend, they could do that. So Dawn will post the link for that so that you have it. And she's so awesome. Yeah, September 4th through the 10th, that's the only day you can get the planner. So make sure you're ready. Also, if you get it on Tuesday, September 4th, then you can use the coupon Grateful and it will take $10 off. So if you're in the US, that'll give you free shipping. If you're outside of the US, it'll just take $10 off of your order, which will help you save on shipping as well. So I am so thankful for you. So grateful. I hope you have an awesome weekend, and I hope you take some time to really begin to implement the things we've discussed this week. Have an awesome day. Bye-bye.